Yeah. So from our last class, we were able to perform an end-to-end test for these particular tests. Here is the feature file, which we will navigate to Prime Sub, or here we'll have the Softbyt URL on here, and we'll fill a form. So this script is just to fill a form and then validate whether we'll receive a successful message. So in our last class, we'll have successfully entered all the inputs parameters, which include name, company name, email address, phone number. We have some other fields that are not required. We haven't done that. So we have also successfully implemented this particular test step, which is a user click on submit button. So look at the step here, user click on submit button. We have also implemented that, but we haven't implemented the assertion. So today we'll be looking into assertion and what an assertion is. Okay, so firstly, we want to understand what an assertion is, the different type of assertion, and different frameworks you can use for assertion. Okay, so now when you are testing a particular, or when you've written a particular test and you want to validate, okay, you're running a particular test, and at the end of that test, let's take for example the form that we're filling. Okay, we've written an automated test to actually fill that form. So once you've submitted, you are expecting a successful message. You're expecting user to get a successful message. And once that successful message has been shown, that will tell you or the user that that form has been submitted successfully. So for you to validate that that successful message has been shown, you want to say either true or false that user has seen that successful message or the successful message popped up. That is where assertion comes in. So it is very simple to do. So it tells you that the successful message has been displayed. So when it comes to assertion, we have two types of assertion. We have hard assertion and we also have soft assertion. Okay, so in a nutshell, assertion helps is a means, okay, of verification or validation that checks that a particular state of the application is working as expected or has met its expected condition. So we have two types of assertion. We have the hard assertion and the soft assertion. So hard assertion is when any assert statement fails, okay, the assertion will throw an exception immediately, okay, and will not continue the test, so it will fail. Okay, why the soft? So under the hard assertion, you can have different way you can write it. You can have assert are equal, where you will say that a particular statements are equal. So you have two conditions. So you have the expected and the actual. And we are saying that the expected are equal to the actual. Okay, so the statement usually goes assert are equal. So you have actual, comma, then expected. You also have another statement, assert not equals. So you have an actual and you have your expected. Okay, you want to assert that the actual is not equal to expected. We have another statement which is assert true, where you have assert dot true. You cannot put the condition that so that statement is true. We have assert false. You have the statement assert dot false. You put the statements. We'll see when we do it. So you have also assert not null. So when you're expecting that a particular condition is not null, you can put assert dot what null, or assert dot what not null. Then you can put the object. So we also have soft assertion. So this type of assertion are the type of assertion that do not throw an exception when assertion fails and continue with the next step after the assert statements. So it doesn't throw an exception. It just continues when the assertion fails. Okay, so know the key difference between the hard assertion. Hard assertion will throw an exception. Soft assertion will not throw an exception. So now under the assertion, we have fluent assertion, and we'll also have n-unit assertion. So n-unit assertion are those kind of assertion that you see something like assert is true. Okay, so an n-unit assertion method provides that the assert dot is true is an n-unit assertion method that were provided by n units. So, like for example, we are using n units. N units, if you look at this, am I sharing my screen? Yeah. So, can you see my screen?
So you can see the Visual Studio.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you look at this package, you can see this is an n unit test. So, because we have this n unit test, we will be able to use n unit assertion. Okay. So, we have also added fluent assertion to help us if we want to write a fluent assertion as well. So, the kind of assertion where you have assert is true, assert dot is true. Let me just write, for example. But we'll write it in full. Well, when you have assert dot, assert dot, so it should have this assert dot is true, should see is true coming up. So when you have something like this, assert dot is true, it's an n unit assertion. Okay, so it is an n unit assertion. So we can also have assert dot is false, and then we can put our condition. Okay, we also have fluent assertion. So fluent assertion are usually provided by the libraries like fluent assertion, which is this. Okay, which allow for more readable and expressive assertion. Typical assertion, fluent assertions typically use a chaining syntax. So I will show when you have fluent assertion, it doesn't usually start with assert dot is true. Okay, it has a syntax which, but what you will use to know it is you will have, or we'll do the fluent assertion. We will have something like, let's say, underscore homepage, underscore homepage. Then you can have dots is, then this is where you now put your method. Let's say our method is success message display, successful message display. Okay, displayed. Right. So we can now have something like, we can now have something like dots should, you can see a method, this should, then you can now have something like be, then true. Okay, so you will see it in this format, but we'll write it when we have followed our format. So this, what you will use to know the n unit assertion is dots is true. Then you use this should be true to know your fluent assertion. So those are the key difference between n unit assertion and fluent assertion. Okay, so they are almost the same, function the same way, they do the same thing. Okay, but the only difference here is just the syntax and how you implement it, and they use different libraries. Okay, so I'll just clean this up. So once I have cleaned that up, so we will now go and get our success, we will now continue to do our automate our assertion. So we'll first of all go to our page objects. So we want to, the same thing we did, we want to create, so we want to create a public, a private variable. Okay. Using a private access modifier to create a variable of our success message. Okay, where we can store it. So we have successful message. I'll just put MSG, sorry, MSG. Okay, successful message. So this is our successful message. And we want to use experts to locate our successful message. But for now, we haven't gotten the elements. So we'll just leave it here. And you can also write a method. You can also write a method you can use to handle your successful message. Okay, so you can write a method that you can use to handle your successful message. And in our case, we want to write a method and we want to call it. Okay, so let's write a method that we can say public. We can say public public. So because it's an assertion, we are expected to return something. We are not going to use void. Okay, so with public bool, then our method. So our method will usually put in form of is successful message displayed. Okay, so we have is successful message display. Okay, so you can now go bracket, and that side you can now put our curly braces, and then so like I said, we are returning something. So what we're going to say, return, we use the return keyword, return, okay, driver, okay, dot find elements, successful message. No, so we're not getting attributes. We want to use the display method dot displayed, watch displayed. Okay, so this is not it's a problem here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at what the problem is. Okay, so what is the problem here? So this is the problem. The variable name here and this one are not the same. So it's giving us a name from here. So we'll have to change it to this one. Okay, so once we have done that, you can see everything is fine now. So this method is what will return that this is displayed. Okay, we'll return driver.find element dot display. So this will return, we'll check if it is true that success message is displayed, and this is the element for the success message. So let's go and implement the step, okay, for that successful message from the method, so that at the end of the day, once we are done, we can just go and inspect, get the elements on the locator for our successful message, and we can run our test. Okay, so how do we do it? Like I said, we have two kind of assertion. Okay, so firstly, we're going to do our end unit assertion. After our end unit assertion, we can now do our friends assertion. So let's go back here. Yeah, so for the end unit assertion, it goes like I said, assert dot assert dot is true. Okay, so assert dot is true. Then open brackets. Then you can call your constructor, which is underscore homepage. Then dots. You can now call your method. Okay, and our method is, let's get our method from here. If it's not here, once you start typing it, it will show is, can you see, successful message display. Okay, so once you've written that, so you can now close your brackets. This is our method, and then you could also have your semicolon. So you can see this assert is saying that the assert does not exist in this context. You can go to show fix, it say you want you to put using end unit assertion, because this is an end unit assertion. So once you add this using, okay, just click on it. You can see it's fine now. When you go to your using up here, you can see using end units framework. Okay, so because we are using end unit framework, that's why we've added that, we're able to use this assertion. So all we need to do is go to our website, run our test, get the element for this successful message. But before we do that, so you either use one, you don't have to use the two of them. Okay, you have to use one. So, but for the purpose, because I want to demonstrate how you can write the two of them, I will just duplicate that particular method. If I can, I will duplicate the particular method, this particular step. This is for demonstration purpose. Okay, so this is how to do the n unit assertion. Okay, so I will just comment that out, and let's do our fluent assertion. Okay, so for our fluent assertion, like I said, it goes this way. You don't put assert is true. Okay, so let's remove all this. All you do is you start by calling your constructor, which is underscore homepage, then dot. You call your method, which is successful message display. Okay, so once you have done that, the next thing you have to do is you call dot is dot should be true. Okay, so once you have done this, the next thing you will do is to dot, okay, should, you can see the should method be true. Right, so these are the two types of assertion. This is the fluent assertion. This one is the fluent assertion. So like I said, we have added this fluent assertion as our library here. Okay, so this is the fluent assertion, which is with this, then fluent. Okay, why this is the n unit assertion. N units. N units. This is the n unit assertion. Okay, so the only thing that differs is the syntax. Okay, they are the same, they perform the same thing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is to run this test using both assertion. So first of all, use the fluent assertion, comment it out, and then run the test again and use our n unit assertion. So let's go. So this time around, I will run the tests up until I perform the click. Then I can get the successful message. Okay. So let me put a breakpoint here and let's run our test. So while the test is building, running, sometimes what you could do is to manually do it. You can manually fill in the form and get the success message. Get the locator to the success message. Once you've gotten that, you can now use the elements of the locator to run your test. Okay, let's continue. Okay, is on the phone number. I'll just click on continue. This is where it is now. This is where it is phone number. So I'll just click on continue. So it's on the submit. So let's have a look. You can see it has entered everything. The only thing left is submit. Okay, this is not. So when I perform a click on the submit now, and then we will go to the website. So if we perform a click, perform continue. Continue. Oh, okay, it would execute everything. So yeah, that one has not run. So please fill out this field. Okay, so it's throwing an error message saying one or more field has not have an error. Please check and try again. So the subject field is mandatory. So we'll have to fill it in. Okay, so let's enter the subject field. No worries. So we can stop debugging. I'll quickly go to our feature and then enter this and user. Okay, enter the enter the subject. And here we just want to put the subject. The subject will be test. Okay, I'm a double test anyway. So want to put test. Okay, let's generate the step definition for that. Then go to our step definition and paste it here. Let's quickly create this. Then place it here. Doing it the other way. Enter subjects. So I'm going to reuse these subjects. Enter subjects. So I'll just use string, which is subjects, and then string here as subject as well. Okay, so this is crying because we haven't implemented this method. Okay, that's why it's not compiling. We haven't implemented this method, so we'll go and implement this method. Okay, so let's go to our page objects. So on our page objects, before then, let's have another variable here. And the name is subject. So you can name your own subject field. Okay. So because I'm using subjects, I can just put subject field. Subject field. Okay. I will locate the subject field by expert. So this one. So I want to write the method for that as well. So I can just copy this one and then paste it and then call it enter subjects because that is the name of the method. Subjects. So I'll just call this subject as well. Subject and then change this to subjects as well. Subject as well. And then change the variable name to subject field. You can see subject field is coming here. Yeah. So everything is okay. If I go back to my step definition, you will find out that step, yeah, you can see it's compiled now. Okay. So all we need to do now is to get this field for subject and send test from our step definition. Send test. So let me save and build this so that we can see that it's binding already. Yeah, you can see it's binding. I can go from here to my step definition, and then from my step definition, hold down my control key and click on this to my page objects. And I can even go to the method by holding down this and click on this method. So what we'll do is go on our to inspect this field, which is subject field. Okay, so yeah, so we can start to use name subjects. Okay, we can copy experts, so we can start to use type, but let's use name subject because it's short. Okay, so when we go back to our first, we can now put the name here, which is subject, paste it, then remove this expert because we haven't copied an expert, we'll copy the name and use this method name. Yeah. Okay, so that is fine now. If we run that test now, it will enter the name and then we'll get our error message. Okay, so before we do that, let me put my breakpoint on this. Let me remove all these breakpoints and then put my breakpoint on this. And then I can go on this one as well and put my breakpoints. So it wouldn't execute this method. Okay, so let's run the book. Okay, you can see our test is running. Navigating us here. Click on get in touch. Then enter test. Yeah, so let's continue. Yeah, it's on. Click on submit button. So we'll continue. It must have clicked on the submit button. Let's see. Let's see the successful message before it disappears. Yeah, you can see. So we can expect it and get the successful message. Thank you. Which is this. We can copy the expert. Copy selector expert. We can copy the experts. If we don't want to copy the experts, we can copy that it contains a test. Okay, you can see, thank you for contacting us. We'll get back shortly. Okay, so you can say that it contains this. So let's see the expert that we copied. Control F. So this is the expert we copied. So basically getting the ID. So you can also say, we can also customize our experts, okay, saying that just like what we did before, okay, what we did on here, where we say, let me go back to our test. Okay, so let me stop debugging. So what we did on our page object here, so let me show you the element where we say contain. Okay, I didn't include it here. I just wrote it. Okay. So let's go back and then write that element, one that contain. So we can say, I remove this. So forward slash. Okay, can have it as forward slash. I hope our message is still here. Oh, okay, yeah, it's still here. So we can say forward slash, and then we can have our brackets, and then we can have contain inside ads. Can have ads. Okay, can have contain. Can have our contain test. Okay, then we can now have our test inside. Okay, we can now have our test inside it, and it appears this way. It appears this way. This is our test. Where is it? Let's try this again. So let's copy these tests. Yep. Outside. So we'll put it in a single quotes. Put it in a single quotes. Then put it inside the single quote. Okay. So yeah, as much as this tends to be long, it looks like it's longer than what we had. Okay, when we copy the experts. It's longer, but it's cleaner. Okay, it's longer, but it's cleaner. Okay, so we're missing something here. Let me have a look. So what are we missing? Yeah. Okay, so haven't written that well. Okay, we're missing something. So we're missing contains at. Okay, I see. So we haven't put the tag name, and the tag name is div. Okay, so div contains, okay, contains text. So I have to put this here. So it contains text, and put this, and then at the end we can now close the bracket. Look, it's longer, but it's better because it shows the message. Okay, shows the message. Let's have a look. I put our bracket here. So it should give us 1 of 1 now. I'm missing something. Okay. No, we are not missing anything. We should see the error message. We should see. So this is a div class, and then it contains tests. Yep. No, I'm not missing. That's certainly contains. That's right. Then tests. That's right. Then you have comma. You have place. Thank you. Contacting us for sure. Get in touch. And then you have your closing. I don't have any space here. And then I usually like this down so I can, let me dock it down so I can see anything. Yeah. Okay, so it's clearer now. What are we missing? Have we closed the bracket to? Yep. So it's fine. Everything, we've written that well. We've written that well. So I don't know why. That should be this. Then this should be fine. It should be 1 of 1 then. Anyway, so since it's not there, what we could possibly do is let's just highlight this and then copy experts now, and I'll come back to this. So this is 1 of 1, which is highlighting that particular one. So you even have an ID, but yeah, let's just copy that. Okay. So if we copy that, we can now go back to our code and place it here. Okay, if we place it here, we can save. And then what we want to do now is we want to just run our tests. Okay, so it will now go fill in all those forms and assert that successful message is displayed. Okay, so it failed, and let's see why. Let's go to our test log and see why. You can see all these ones we are done. So it says expected homepage display to be true, but found false. So it's expecting it to be true, but it found false, meaning that it didn't see the error message. It didn't see the success message. So what we could do in this instance is we have to implement timing. Okay, so Selenium is fast. When he clicked on the submit button, so it checked if that element is displayed quickly before it check if this element is displayed. So, but by the time this element, it may have failed before this element is displayed. So what we are going to do is we implement timing. Like I said, we do have different kind of, the 3 types of weights. Okay, we have the implicit weight, we have the explicit weights, and we have the fluent weights. Okay, they all perform weights. The implementation are different. The codes are different. Okay, but that would be a lecture for next time. So, but now we will implement a trade. Okay, we implement a trade. Sleep. Then we'll put the time in to be 3,000. So we're asking our driver to wait, okay, for three seconds. Wait for 3 seconds or 3,000 milliseconds, okay, before running this particular step. All right, so if we run it again, see what happens. Okay. Yeah, you can see it has passed. So the reason why it failed the first time was because it's executed after clicking on submit. It then checked if this particular element, this particular locator, this one is visible on the UI. So because it's fast, it wasn't visible then. So hence why we apply this trade. Okay, so you can also apply different kind of weights, implicit weights, explicit fluent weights. Okay, so check on that, read up on that as well. So the next thing I want us to do now is, if you look at this one, so what we are implementing here is the fluent assertion. Okay, so we're going to comment this fluent assertion here. We're going to comment it out and uncomment the end unit assertion and still run our test. Okay, I'll run our test. Let's run it again. Oh, this, yeah. So I'm going to stop. No, I'll stop it. The reason why it's failing is because I'm running these comments. So let me run it again. As it's entering our field, click on submit. You click on submit now, and here we go. It's passed again. Okay, so yeah, that's all that we have today. Any question?